Seniors, I am begging you to stop eating these 6 vegetables that are slowly damaging your heart. Picture this. It's late at night, the TV's still murmuring in the background, your slippers are parked just by the bed, and your legs ache like you just hiked the Alps. All you did today was stroll from the kitchen to the mailbox. And yet, your calves are tight, your knees are humming, and the floor seems a little farther down than it used to. You tell yourself it's normal, just getting older, right? But what if the answer wasn't in your age, but in your bedtime routine? Here's your reality check. If you're over 60 and not feeding your legs the right support at night, you're quietly losing strength, and you probably won't survive this slow slide without some serious help. Luckily, that help starts tonight. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is. It's always fascinating to see this little bedtime club of ours stretching across time zones. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You shuffle toward your nightstand, feeling that subtle throb in your hamstrings, not painful, but definitely present. As you unscrew the cap of your water bottle, your eye lands on a little bottle labeled melatonin. Ah, yes, the trusty sleep helper. Pop it, dream it, wake up, hopefully feeling rested. But here's what no one told you. Melatonin isn't just for helping you fall asleep. It's also quietly working behind the scenes to repair and rebuild muscles, especially the ones that keep you upright. Think of melatonin like your body's nighttime construction crew. As you drift off, it lowers your core temperature, slows your heart rate, and cues your system to enter a deep, restorative sleep. But that's not all. While you're snuggled under your comforter dreaming about lottery wins or missed high school buses, melatonin is out there fixing things. One of its underrated roles? Boosting muscle regeneration, especially in older adults. Yep, while you're lying still, melatonin nudges your body to start producing growth hormone, your natural repair juice. Remember when you were younger and bounced back after a long day? That was growth hormone doing its thing. But as you age, your levels drop faster than your phone battery on a bad charger. Enter melatonin. Supplementing with just the right amount at night can give your growth hormone a second wind. And since your legs are some of the largest muscle groups in the body, they're first in line for the benefits. There's also the inflammation factor. Chronic low-level inflammation is the silent leg killer after 60. It stiffens your joints, weakens your tendons, and turns your morning walk into a hobble. Melatonin has been shown to lower pro-inflammatory markers, meaning it calms down the invisible fire that's making your knees feel like rusty hinges. And now for a fun twist. Did you know your muscles actually have melatonin receptors? Like little docking stations just waiting for the signal. Once melatonin binds to them, it tells the muscle fibers to relax, repair, and even grow. This isn't some fringe wellness theory either. It's backed by legitimate research showing improved muscle function and reduced fatigue in older adults who supplement. Of course, not all melatonin is created equal. That 10-milligram gummy from the drugstore? Probably overkill. For most seniors, 1 to 3 milligrams taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed is the sweet spot. More than that, and you might wake up feeling groggy, not great. Less than that, and it's like inviting the construction crew without giving them tools. The goal is quality sleep, not just quantity. And here's a cheeky tip you won't find on the bottle. Take your melatonin with a tiny protein-rich snack. A tablespoon of almond butter, a slice of turkey, or even half a boiled egg. Why? Because pairing melatonin with protein gives your muscles the amino acids they need while the melatonin opens the door for repair. It's like sending in a team of builders with blueprints and actual bricks. Now imagine this. 2 weeks from now, you wake up and stretch and something feels different.
Your calves don't scream. Your thighs don't feel like wet cement. You feel more grounded. It's subtle at first, but real. That's the quiet power of melatonin, working overnight while you binge reruns of Wheel of Fortune or whisper goodnight to your dog. Of course, melatonin alone won't do all the heavy lifting. It's the first piece of a bedtime trio we're building tonight. But don't underestimate its role. You're not just falling asleep, you're falling into repair mode. Every night you skip it, that repair gets delayed. Think of it like leaving a pothole unfixed. Eventually, the whole road suffers. So, next time you climb into bed and reach for your remote, remember to reach for that melatonin too. Give your legs the green light to rebuild. Because while sleep is nice, restoration is where the real magic happens. You wake up at 3:17 a.m. again. One leg hanging halfway off the bed, toes flexing involuntarily, and that sharp little muscle cramp creeping up your calf like it's auditioning for a horror movie. You reach down and massage it, mumbling something less than holy, wondering why this keeps happening. You didn't run a marathon yesterday, or ever, so why do your legs behave like they're in a boxing match at night? The answer may be magnesium. And no, it's not just that thing people buy because they heard it's good for stress. Magnesium is the mineral your muscles literally cannot function without. If your body were a phone, magnesium would be the charger cable, and most folks over 60 are running at 20%. So let's dive into magnesium's midnight magic. First, picture your muscles like little bands of elastic. Every time you move, they contract and release. Simple, right? Except that contraction and release mechanism requires calcium to flex and magnesium to relax. Without magnesium, your muscle doesn't unclench properly. Cue the twitching, the jerking, the bizarre half-dream where you're kicking a soccer ball that turns out to be your spouse's knee. Magnesium helps regulate over 300 enzymatic processes in your body. That's not a typo. 300. Most importantly here, it aids in electrolyte balance, muscle contraction, and nerve transmission. Your leg nerves send signals like emails. Magnesium ensures they don't all arrive in all caps at 2 a.m. Let's play doctor for a second. Low magnesium is linked to leg cramps, restless leg syndrome, weakness, fatigue, and even that buzzing, I can't get comfortable sensation that makes you flip your pillow 10 times. If your legs ever feel like they've had 12 cups of coffee before bed while the rest of you wants to sleep, guess what's likely missing? And here's the kicker. As you age, your kidneys get worse at holding on to magnesium. Even if you're eating greens and beans like a good health nerd, your body might be flushing out this mineral like it's on spring break. Diuretics, heart meds, and even high blood sugar make it worse. Translation? The older you get, the more likely your magnesium levels are quietly tanking. Now, imagine taking a magnesium supplement at night, not a chalky horse pill, but maybe a calm-tasting powder dissolved in warm water, sipped while your slippers scuff across the kitchen. Within 30 to 45 minutes, your muscles begin to calm. Your breathing slows, your legs stop fidgeting. You're not just sedated, you're rebalancing. There are different forms of magnesium, and yes, it matters. Magnesium oxide is common but barely absorbed. It's the cheap date of the magnesium world. For leg health, you want something like magnesium glycinate, known for its calming effects and excellent absorption. Or magnesium citrate if you also need a little nudge in the bathroom department. We won't tell. And let's pause for a public service announcement. Magnesium doesn't just help with the feeling of strong legs, it actively protects the function. Studies show it improves muscle performance, reduces inflammation, and can even boost exercise tolerance in older adults. That means you might actually want to do your daily walk, not just feel obligated because your doctor scolded you last month. Here's a secret routine the spry seniors at your community center probably follow. A warm Epsom salt bath, yep, that's magnesium sulfate. A short walk or some light stretching, then a magnesium supplement with herbal tea before bed. Not only do they sleep better, they wake up with legs that don't creak like an attic door. And here's your second joke of the night. Magnesium is basically the muscle whisperer. If your legs are anxious chihuahuas, magnesium is the patient hand that finally gets them to stop barking. Now let's be honest, you've probably dismissed supplements before. Maybe you tried one once and didn't notice anything. But think of magnesium like daily flossing. One night won't change much, but 2 weeks, that's when the magic kicks in. Those cramps you've been blaming on age may just be your body begging for basic mineral support. Don't expect fireworks, expect subtlety. You might notice your legs feel heavier, in a good way, grounded, less fluttery, fewer involuntary twitches when you lie down. You may even fall asleep faster, because guess what? Magnesium helps stimulate GABA, the brain's own calming neurotransmitter. And in case you're wondering, yes, magnesium plays nicely with melatonin. The two are actually BFFs. While melatonin works the hormonal angles, magnesium calms the nervous system like a soft lullaby for your muscles. This isn't just coincidence. Many natural sleep formulas include both for good reason. And when your legs are no longer doing river dance at 1 a.m., you'll understand why. So tonight, when you're brushing your teeth and making that slow trek to bed, ask yourself, did I feed my muscles the mineral they're literally begging for? If the answer is no, your legs are going to tell you, with twitches, cramps, and those little wake-up jolts that make you feel 93 instead of 63. But if you did, then you're setting up your legs for calm, steady repair. Magnesium won't make you leap out of bed in the morning, but it will help you rise with more control, fewer wobbles, and a sense that your legs aren't secretly plotting your downfall.
The sun's out, but you're not. You tilt open the blinds and watch the light stretch across the room like it's mocking you. Once, you would have strolled out into it, maybe pulled a few weeds, walked the dog, or just basked in that golden hour glow. But now, the sidewalk feels like a slip hazard, the stairs a death trap, and your bones ache in ways you can't quite explain. You tell yourself it's probably just arthritis, or maybe it's not. What if the culprit is something as deceptively simple as a vitamin D deficiency? Now, before you roll your eyes and say, that's the sunshine vitamin, I'm fine, here's the reality. Up to 70% of seniors have low levels of vitamin D, and many have no idea. It's sneaky like that. You're not lying in bed screaming, I need D! You're just slowly becoming less stable on your feet. Your legs weaken. Your bones thin. You tire faster. Then one day, you stumble a bit, just a wobble, and suddenly you're Googling hip replacement recovery time. So let's talk about the secret D, vitamin D's late-night flex. Most people associate vitamin D with bones, and they're right. It helps your gut absorb calcium, which is then delivered to your bones to keep them strong. But here's what no one tells you. Vitamin D also plays a critical role in muscle contraction. That's right, it's not just for skeletons. Your quads, hamstrings, glutes, they all have vitamin D receptors waiting patiently for the stuff to show up and do its job. Without it, your legs quite literally lose strength. And here's the kicker. Even if you take calcium, without enough vitamin D, you're not using it effectively. It's like putting premium fuel in a car with a dead battery. Nothing moves. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most folks think vitamin D should be taken in the morning, but for older adults, taking it in the evening may actually be more beneficial, especially for leg support. Why? Because of something called muscle protein synthesis, the fancy way your body repairs and builds muscle fibers. This process happens while you sleep, so giving your body a late-night dose of vitamin D can prime it for better overnight muscle recovery. But wait, there's more. Vitamin D also regulates balance. Yes, balance. That wobbly feeling you get when stepping off a curb or shifting in the kitchen.
Vitamin D deficiency messes with neuromuscular coordination, which means your legs don't listen to your brain as quickly. And if you're already worried about falling, this makes things worse. It's like trying to catch a glass before it drops, but your reflexes hit snooze. Now here's the million-dollar question. How much should you take? For most seniors, 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily is safe and effective. But the only way to be sure is to get your blood levels checked. Optimal range, 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter. If you're below that, it's time to join the late-night D club. Just don't go overboard. Too much vitamin D can cause issues, especially with calcium buildup. And don't forget, D3 is the good stuff. D2 is cheaper, plant-derived, and not nearly as effective. Think of D3 like a well-seasoned chef. It gets the job done right the first time. D2 is more like an intern with good intentions but zero training. Now let's paint the picture. It's 9:30 p.m. You've already taken your melatonin and magnesium. You're wearing those fuzzy socks that have no grip but make you feel oddly elegant. You take your D3 with a glass of milk or a spoonful of yogurt because vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning it needs a little fat to get absorbed properly. You settle into bed, legs tucked under your weighted blanket, and while you drift off, your body starts working. Vitamin D activates muscle repair genes. It helps your calves recover from that errand you ran earlier. It tells your thigh muscles to hold steady. And most importantly, it sets the stage for better balance tomorrow. Here's a fun fact. In a study of older women, those who supplemented with vitamin D had significantly fewer falls than those who didn't. Fewer falls means fewer fractures. Fewer fractures mean fewer hospital gowns that don't quite close in the back. You get the picture. Oh, and one more thing. Low vitamin D levels have been linked to mood disorders, especially in seniors. So if your legs feel weak and you're feeling a little down, it may not just be retirement blues. It might be biology. Remember that cheeky joke from earlier about your muscles being chihuahuas? Well, vitamin D is like the leash that keeps them from bolting. You might not always notice it's working, but when it's missing, all hell breaks loose. And you don't need to go sunbathing or spend a fortune on supplements. Just a reliable D3, taken at night with a bit of food, can make a profound difference in how your legs perform the next day. You'll walk more confidently. You'll feel more stable. You'll move like someone who still has miles left to walk, because you do. So the next time someone tells you vitamin D is just for bones, you can smile and say, "Nope, it's my nighttime muscle coach." And then you can glide past them on your next grocery run with a steadiness they can't quite explain.
You've got your bottles lined up like loyal bedtime soldiers. Melatonin on the left, magnesium in the middle, and vitamin D3 on the right. Each one promising its own little miracle. Deeper sleep, calmer muscles, stronger bones. But here's the thing they don't print on the labels. These three aren't meant to work alone. This is where things get juicy. The synergy effect. Why these three work better together. Imagine your body is a symphony. Melatonin is the conductor, magnesium the rhythm section, and vitamin D the brass, bold, bright, essential. Alone, each does something nice, but together they orchestrate a beautiful overnight transformation. When taken as a team, these three compounds harmonize in a way that amplifies each of their benefits, especially for aging legs. Let's start with melatonin. On its own, it lulls you to sleep, yes, but when paired with magnesium, it actually increases the depth and efficiency of slow-wave sleep, the phase where muscle repair and cellular regeneration peak. In other words, melatonin opens the door to recovery, and magnesium walks through it with tools in hand. Then enters vitamin D. While melatonin puts you under and magnesium soothes your muscles, vitamin D enhances calcium regulation and boosts the actual repair of muscle fibers, especially the fast-twitch ones responsible for quick reactions and balance. That leg wobble when you get out of bed?
That's a fast-twitch failure. When these three work in tandem, they don't just help you sleep, they rebuild you while you do. Now here's a surprising fact. Magnesium is required for vitamin D metabolism. Yep, your body literally cannot convert vitamin D into its active form without enough magnesium in the system. So, if you're low in magnesium, even the best vitamin D supplement is just sitting around doing absolutely nothing, like a guest at a dinner party who forgot their RSVP. This kind of interaction is what makes the trio so special. Melatonin promotes sleep, which is when vitamin D works hardest. Magnesium helps process the D and keeps muscles relaxed, and vitamin D supports the muscle growth triggered by melatonin-enhanced sleep. It's not chemistry, it's teamwork. Think of it like a nighttime repair crew. Melatonin flips on the closed for maintenance sign. Magnesium does the deep tissue work, untangling tightness, easing nerve signals. And vitamin D lays down the foundation, strengthening the muscle fibers and bones so you don't crumble the next time you reach for the top shelf. Even beyond muscle support, these three have a combined effect on inflammation and oxidative stress. Together, they help reduce cortisol levels, your stress hormone, regulate blood pressure, and even improve insulin sensitivity. Because as you know, leg health isn't just about the legs. It's about your entire system working in harmony. And if you want a real nerd moment, consider this. Melatonin is a powerful antioxidant, especially within mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells. Vitamin D, meanwhile, enhances mitochondrial function and energy output. Magnesium? It's required for ATP production, the energy molecule your cells run on. So yeah, this is a metabolic dream team, not just a sleep aid.
But here's the best part. When you get these three working together, the benefits are greater than the sum of their parts. It's not just 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. It's more like 1 × 2 × 3 = 6. You don't just sleep deeper, you repair faster. You don't just reduce cramps, you reverse muscle decline. And suddenly, those shaky steps you've been brushing off as normal aging, they become a distant memory. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do I need to take them all at once? Not necessarily at the same exact minute, but ideally within a 30-minute window before bed. Maybe you sip a magnesium drink at 9:15, pop your melatonin gummy at 9:30, and finish with your vitamin D3 at 9:45, alongside your evening yogurt. Ritual matters. The body loves rhythm. Give it a routine, and it will reward you with results. Here's a cheeky thought. If your legs were running a small repair shop, melatonin would be the "we're closed" sign, magnesium the mechanic, and vitamin D the parts delivery truck. Without all three, you're just standing around in a broken garage. And while we're being honest, you've probably tried single supplements before and written them off. That's like trying to bake a cake with only flour and no eggs. No wonder nothing rose. But the synergy of this trio, that's where the real transformation lives. So tonight, as you prep for bed, maybe you light a candle, maybe you stretch your calves, maybe you talk to your cat like she's your therapist. Know that you're not just taking pills. You're putting the pieces back together. You're giving your legs the coordinated care they've quietly begged for every time you felt unstable, sore, or plain old tired of feeling tired. You're not just chasing better sleep. You're rebuilding strength, one synergized night at a time.
You've got the right bottles, the right trio, the late-night lighting, the weighted blanket, the fan on low. You're ready to rebuild your legs like a bedtime superhero. But here's where most people stumble. They take the right things the wrong way. That's where this section comes in. Absorption tricks you wish you knew sooner. Because here's the hard truth. If you're not absorbing your vitamins properly, you're just making very fancy, very expensive pee. And your legs, they won't get a drop of what they actually need. Let's start with melatonin. This little hormone is sensitive. It doesn't like bright lights, it doesn't like caffeine, and it definitely doesn't like smartphones glaring into your eyes right before bed. So if you're swallowing your melatonin gummy and then scrolling Instagram for another 45 minutes under a 100-watt bulb, you're basically telling your brain, never mind, we're staying awake. The trick? Dim the lights an hour before bedtime. Even better, switch to warm amber light bulbs. Avoid screens, or at least turn on night shift or blue light filters. Light literally blocks melatonin production, both natural and supplemental. And you're trying to amplify that production, not strangle it in its sleep. Now on to magnesium, the mineral with a mood. Magnesium comes in many forms, but not all are absorbed equally. You remember from earlier that magnesium glycinate is a star for leg support. But here's the catch. Don't take it with a high-fiber meal. Fiber binds to minerals and escorts them out like a nightclub bouncer. And since seniors often eat high-fiber dinners, salads, beans, multigrain whatevers, this little interaction goes unnoticed. So what do? Take magnesium an hour or two after dinner, ideally on a relatively empty stomach, or with a small fat-containing snack. A tablespoon of peanut butter or a couple walnuts will great. Bonus, the fat helps with absorption, and the combo keeps you full just long enough to sleep through that 3 a.m. hunger pang. Next, the often overlooked absorption issue, magnesium and calcium. These two minerals compete for the same transport pathways in your gut. So if you're taking a calcium supplement before bed, it could be crowding out your magnesium. Solution? Space them out. Take magnesium at night, calcium earlier in the day. Simple as that. Now for vitamin D, the showstopper with a diva complex. It's fat-soluble, which means if you take it with water on an empty stomach, it passes right through like a bored tourist. You need a bit of fat to unlock its potential. Doesn't have to be much. Half an avocado, a slice of cheese, a spoonful of yogurt, or even that peanut butter we talked about earlier. And don't forget the timing. While conventional wisdom says take D in the morning, that's based on generic population data. For older adults with weak legs and nighttime repair needs, taking vitamin D about 30 minutes before bed helps with overnight muscle synthesis. Just don't mix it with caffeine, alcohol, or antacids. They'll mess with absorption and leave your legs back at square one. Let's take a quick side alley here and address one sneaky saboteur: medications. Many common senior prescriptions interfere with vitamin absorption. For instance, proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole reduce magnesium and calcium absorption. Steroids can reduce vitamin D levels. Diuretics flush out magnesium and potassium.
So, if you're on any of these, you need to adjust your timing or your dosage, ideally with a doctor's help. But even without medical tweaks, spacing your supplements away from medications by 2 hours can significantly improve absorption. Your bedtime trio? It deserves its own quiet moment, separate from the pill parade after dinner. Here's a wild little hack. Vitamin K2 plus vitamin D3 equals stronger bones and better calcium management. K2 helps guide calcium into your bones and out of your arteries, meaning it supports leg strength and heart health. So if you want to go pro level with your leg stack, find a D3 supplement that includes K2. MK7 is the form you're looking for. And yes, take it with food. And let's not forget your gut health. If your digestive tract is inflamed, imbalanced, or overwhelmed with sugar and stress, absorption tanks. Think of your gut lining like a sponge. It has to be healthy to soak up what you give it. A simple probiotic or fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, or even a bit of miso can boost vitamin uptake by supporting your microbiome. Healthy gut equals happy legs. Now for a joke, because we're due. Your supplements are like Tinder dates. If the timing, lighting, and chemistry aren't right, nothing meaningful happens. So here's your nightly ritual upgrade, summarized. 1 hour before bed, dim lights, ditch screens, set the vibe. 45 minutes before bed, take magnesium with a small fat-containing snack. 30 minutes before bed, take melatonin, preferably a low dose, 1 to 3 milligrams. Same time or 10 minutes later, take vitamin D3, ideally with K2, again with food.
Keep meds and high-fiber meals at a distance. You want a clear runway for these nutrients to land. This isn't complicated, but it is deliberate. You're not just throwing back pills and hoping for miracles. You're creating the perfect environment for restoration. You're fine-tuning the internal machinery that's been sputtering along since your 50s, hoping someone would finally give it the maintenance it needs. And guess what? You're doing that now. In 2 weeks, when you realize your legs haven't cramped in days or you rise from your chair without doing the 3-point push and wobble, you'll know it wasn't magic, it was mechanics. You finally gave your body the tools and the conditions to fix itself.
It's been 10 days since you started your new bedtime routine. The first few nights, subtle. You slept a little deeper, woke up a little less groggy. But on the 11th morning, something strange happened. You got out of bed and, wait for it, you stood up without needing to brace yourself on the dresser. Your knees didn't wobble, your feet didn't scream. You just stood. That, right there, is your first real sign that these bedtime vitamins are doing what they promised. You've turned the key in the ignition. Your legs are waking up to the idea that they can still get stronger, even after 60. Let's dive into signs it's working, what to expect in 2 weeks. You might not suddenly sprint up a flight of stairs like you're auditioning for a Rocky reboot, but the changes will come, and they'll sneak up on you, quiet, confident, and steady. 1. Morning steadiness. The first and clearest sign is that solid feeling in your legs when you wake up. No more swaying while brushing your teeth. No more tentative shuffling to the kitchen. Just grounded, predictable, stable steps. It feels like your legs have remembered how to be legs again. This isn't coincidence. It's melatonin helping you sleep deeply, magnesium easing muscular tension, and vitamin D silently improving your neuromuscular control. They've been conspiring in your favor. 2. Fewer cramps and twitches. If you've spent years doing the 2 a.m. leg stretch followed by a full-body Charlie horse contortion, you'll be delighted when it just stops. Nighttime muscle spasms and calf cramps? Gone, or dramatically reduced. Magnesium deserves the credit here, along with improved hydration and better electrolyte balance. 3. Longer walking tolerance. You'll notice you can stay on your feet longer before feeling that deep fatigue. Maybe it's walking through the grocery store without needing the cart as a walker, or standing in the kitchen for 20 minutes without feeling like your femurs are made of jelly. Vitamin D is improving your muscle performance. Magnesium is regulating nerve signals. You're no longer tiring out like a faulty rechargeable battery. 4. A calmer bedtime routine. You'll notice that bedtime doesn't feel like a nightly wrestling match anymore. Your brain slows down more easily. Your body doesn't fight the urge to sleep. Melatonin starts nudging you toward drowsiness right on schedule. Magnesium supports your parasympathetic nervous system, aka your chill mode. You fall asleep before the 3rd episode autoplays on Netflix. 5. Fewer balance scares. You used to get those little stumbles. Turn too fast, shift your weight wrong, and boom, your body panics. But now, you recover faster. Your body adjusts. That's vitamin D talking to your muscle fibers, enhancing reflex time and joint stability. You don't have to clutch the wall when you pivot or fear stepping over the dog anymore. Your balance system is actually responding to feedback again. 6. Less stiffness in your knees and ankles. If you're the type who used to take 3 cautious steps every time you stood up, just waiting for that crackle pop of stiff joints, you may be surprised when those first few steps feel smoother. Your joints don't creak, your legs don't lock. It's not a miracle, it's the reduction in inflammation thanks to the trio of supplements doing quiet behind-the-scenes work. But how do you really know it's working?
Here's one weird test you can try: the one-leg rise challenge. Sit in a sturdy chair, feet flat, arms crossed over your chest. Now try to stand up using only one leg, no hands. Could you do it? How steady were you? If you tried it on day 1 and couldn't even lift off the cushion, try it again on day 14. You might surprise yourself. Another simple gauge? Your gait. Walk across a room and pay attention to your stride. Do your feet lift more cleanly off the ground? Do your knees feel more responsive?
Even a slight improvement here suggests better neuromuscular coordination, thanks again to your new vitamin allies. Let's not ignore the emotional change either. Stronger legs don't just make walking easier, they restore confidence. And confidence is everything when you're over 60 and trying to stay independent. You'll feel braver in crowds, more willing to walk to the mailbox alone, and less likely to avoid steps or curbs. That psychological boost? Priceless. Now let's zoom out. These small changes aren't just vanity metrics, they're predictors of future mobility. Seniors with strong legs are more likely to live independently, recover faster from illness, and maintain a higher quality of life. You're not just improving today, you're investing in all your tomorrows. So what happens if you stop? That's up to you. But the truth is, these nutrients are not temporary fixes, they're foundational supports. Your body doesn't stop needing vitamin D just because the sun came out for a few days. It doesn't stop craving magnesium because you had spinach once this week. And melatonin? Well, your pineal gland isn't getting any younger. These are tools you can use for the long haul, with adjustments and check-ins, of course. And here's your final light joke for the night. Your legs aren't quitting, they've just been on strike waiting for proper benefits. Now that you're giving them what they ask for, they're clocking back in, on time, ready to work. Which brings us to this moment, right here, where you realize this isn't just about 3 bedtime supplements, it's about taking your strength back, quietly, consistently, night after night. You gave your legs the right tools. They listened. And now they're slowly reminding you what it feels like to move without fear. So now, here you are, lying back. The room is quiet, except for the soft hum of your fan and maybe a few sleepy creaks from the walls. Your legs, once jittery, cramp-prone, unpredictable, feel calmer now. Heavier in the way that means relaxed, not burdened. You've shown up for them, night after night, capsule by capsule, with a little more care than usual. And they've started showing up for you. You don't have to do anything else tonight. No more stretches, no more Googling symptoms. Just breathe. Let your body do what it's been waiting to do for years. Restore itself. Quietly, without drama, while you rest. As the magnesium softens each muscle fiber and the melatonin deepens your drift, that steady pulse of vitamin D is nudging your legs back to life, reconnecting muscle, bone, and balance. You might not feel the changes in this exact moment, but trust that they're happening. Every hour you sleep is another stitch in the fabric of your strength. Picture tomorrow's first step. Stable, confident, quietly powerful. No brace, no wobble, no fear. Just the you that's been waiting under the weariness all along. You've got this. So close your eyes. Let the last bit of tension melt from your thighs, your knees, your calves. Picture those bedtime vitamins as tiny architects, rebuilding the scaffolding of your legs, while you do absolutely nothing. That's the beauty of it. Strength in stillness. You've done enough for today. More than enough. The work is already underway. And tomorrow? Tomorrow you rise. Good night.